Good evening, everyone. How are we this evening?
Good, thank you.
Very well, thank you.
Good, thanks, Robbie.
Cool. This video is one that Stuart shared on the 30-day Elite, the 30-day challenge on the Elite. It was shared yesterday, and it's from the London Momentum Day, or the last London Momentum Day, and it's lessons in marketing, as it says. So, actually, if I push play, and we can get into it.
So with everything said, I've just had a thought now. Every Momentum Day I always try and give one major takeaway, which I believe will really, really help you. And so far I've not witnessed any of that today. So I'm going to do my best to change that. I think last Momentum was all about commitment and consistency. The previous one, I think, was drink alcohol. I think the previous one was balanced lifestyle and not neglecting your why in the process of building your business, because you run the risk of getting into all sorts of trouble. But this, what I want to do now, just had a thought, is I want to actually teach you the most important mindset, I suppose, about marketing, and it makes everything else that we've been talking about almost redundant, the icing on the cake. Because when you actually get what I'm going to share with you now, and if you do actually get it, it will make a big difference in the way you write blogs, the way you shoot videos, the campaigns that you write. It will make a big difference. So hopefully I've framed it enough for you to listen up.
Wouldn't you guys rather study my spreadsheet?
So, let me think of a scenario. If I supplied you with, we're going to have a challenge, me versus you. Okay, who's going to make the most sales and money? If I supplied you with the best copywriters, let's give you five of the best copywriters, the ones that they spend 100 grand, they charge 100 grand a sales letter. And I'm going to give you the best website designer, the best graphic designer, you can have him as well. I'm going to give you pretty much anything you want, to be honest. But I'm going to have one thing different, which I'm pretty confident will mean that I will win this sales challenge every time over. I wonder what that would be. Any ideas? Any ideas what I would have? What would I have over you guys? You can have websites, products, you can have all of these things, the best, better than what I've got. Laptops help, yeah. You can have the best copywriter, you can have this, but none of them can have computers. It's a good one, I like that. But no. No. Kind of getting close. Well, no. It's fun. I think I've got like 100 quid in my pocket. If anyone gets it in the next 5 minutes, I'll give it to you. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You've got it. Anna, come up. No. Belief, no. 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 It's fun. Everyone's like waking up. Huh? No, it's kind of on no. 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 Kind of, it's on that way, it's kind of that way, but no. No. I got balls, but I'm not. I wasn't saying no to that. I'm very proud of them, they're nice and shiny. No. When people start yawning, I'll tell you. It's 2 words, I guess. Shall I tell you? Ready? A starving crowd. and I'll explain. Okay, now I'm going to explain because I'm going to give you some context behind this. Because the important thing to know is that most people focus so much on the wrong areas when it comes to marketing and sales in general, offline, online businesses, and I can't tell you the amount of people that I was coaching when I was doing consulting who had this great idea for a product, but the reality is that we're never going to make a load of sales because it wasn't a starving crowd. There are other individuals who have great products who could potentially position it in front of a starving crowd, but they're trying to sell everyone, and as a result they sell no one. This is a lot more important than it sounds, okay? So I want to give you a scenario, let me think. So let's say there's a room, let's say this room. There's 100 of us in here, for example. And we're going to wrap up the Momentum Day and we're going to go and have dinner. Every one of us, we're going to have this 4-course meal, eat every scrap of it. Everyone's going to be leaving like, bloated. And then I'm going to bring you back in this room and I'm going to have a table laid out with gourmet food, lobster, whatever it is you like, chocolate for the ladies, I know you know, men hate chocolate. And you're going to have all of these like different things across the table and I'm going to try and sell you a meal. And on top of that, guess what I'm going to do? 20% discount. 20% discount for people that buy in the next 20 minutes. Do you think many people are going to buy that meal? They're not starving. I'm going to do 50% discount. Because that's what most businesses do, don't they? Oh, we need sales, let's do 50% discount. 20%. Okay, so now I'm going to give you another scenario. With our Black Retreat coming up in Miami, and we've hired this room, it's got windows in it, great views, lovely bottles of water in there, no food. In fact, I'm going to lock the door for 5 days. They don't know this yet. I'm going to lock the door for 5 days and wave through the window, make sure the water's topped up, and yeah, day 3 they're going to be pretty hungry, I'd say. Fiona, are you hungry after 3 days, do you reckon? It's at this point where, you know, Fiona's starting to get a bit agitated. Day 4, Fiona's now starting to look at Greg. She's pretty hungry now. It's like the debate, husband or dinner? Day 5, pretty hungry. Now on the 5th day, I'm going to come into the room, to the rescue, with bags of 10-day-old McDonald's. There's so much preservatives, you won't even notice. It won't even look any different. Might be a bit cold. Heat it up in the window, warm it up, display it. This is what you're looking forward to at the Black Retreat, I tell you. Best 20 grand you'll ever spend. So I'm going to lay it all out, and I'm going to say, you're only locked in here for another 5 days. Anyone want a McDonald's? And I'm going to charge 3 times as much as what a McDonald's normally costs. Probably get some sales, do you reckon? Now let's say I only have a supply of 10 McDonald's and there's a room 50. Do you think I'll sell those 10? Limited supply, starving crowd. So the point is that the way that you want to position your marketing is you have to think about who is starving, who is most likely to buy now within your audience that you're targeting. So use a couple of examples. So we've got Mark here. Mark, your audience is? Okay. All right. Baby boomers. Baby boomers is a big audience. Let's think of baby boomers who are semi-retired, retired. Couple of million in the bank, couple of second homes, nice wife, plays a lot of golf. Cricket. I hate cricket. And they come across a baby boomer ad. Make money online. Compare that to a baby boomer who had a really good career. In 2006, decided to start investing heavily in some stocks and shares. By 2008, they had bought a couple of investment homes, bought the top of the market. And by 2010, property had gone down, stocks had gone down, retirement out the window. Shit, they've got 10 years to retire, 5 years to retire. They've worked all of their lives, motivated and driven for this great retirement, provide a great life for the wife or the husband, and now it's all out the window. And they come across an ad, make $1 million in 3 years. Who's going to be more hungry to take action on that? So the point is that I ram this message at home all the time. You try and sell everyone, you sell no one. Are you trying to sell to baby boomers when you write your ads? One of the things I love about Facebook ads now is the fact that you can write long old ads, because we're not trying to get the maximum clicks in this industry. It's all about quality. Are you writing baby boomers' business opportunity and targeting every man and their dog, or are you getting in on an emotional level? Are you connecting with that mum when you write a solo ad? Are you connecting with that mum when you write a blog post? Are you connecting with a mum when you write that email broadcast? Who can connect with this idea of, shit, if I don't do something, I have to go back to work and my kids are going to be brought up by a nanny. When you get involved with your customers and you speak with them on an emotional level, hanging out at the bar tonight, speaking with one another, find out the motives, find out who's similar to you. John, why did you join Mark as a baby boomer? So true. How's your retirement looking? Okay. Down an alley. Okay. So the point is that the chances are, I'm just guessing, I could be completely wrong though, but you know, a big drive for you is retirement. You know, it's this idea of, you know, how much longer have you got to like really nail this and make shit happen to have the retirement that you want? Probably the same for you. Again, in Mark's team. So Mark's doing a great job. He's attracting the baby boomers, but most people in their marketing are being ignored because their marketing is to the baby boomers. And it's to everybody who's a baby boomer. There's no emotional involvement. There's no attachment in the videos, the blogs, the broadcasts. It's all about, I help baby boomers start an online business. You really need to think about, and what I'm teaching you here right now is how you shortcut the time frame from lead to buyer as well. Because don't get me wrong, there will be people who are like, we've had baby boomers before who have spent 20, 40,000 on positioning at Black, who have like been serial entrepreneurs. Who was that guy? We had one guy that came in and he was like, do you know what, I'm just a serial entrepreneur, I just want to see what's going on. Boom, gave us like 20,000, I don't think we ever heard from him again. Like, he was just like, I just want to see what you guys are up to. It's like, and we were like, okay, so you're going to come into, well, yeah, I might come on the webinars, just kind of never heard from him again. So, you know, the point of what I'm saying is that, you know, there is a different range of people that you're going to attract through your marketing, but if you want to actually get people who are going to take action, follow through, duplicate, replicate, you need to be thinking who's hungrier. It's the mistake that offline businesses make. You know, they position their business like a hot dog stand in Farnham. People in Farnham don't eat hot dogs. Don't know what they eat, brownies. Probably, that's what I have, no. But I'm like a disgrace to Farnham. You know, stick a hot dog stand outside a football stadium after the match, where are you going to sell more hot dogs? You know, so you just really want to be thinking about that in every aspect of your advertising, your marketing. If you just think of an avatar, a customer, a potential person to appeal to, you're going to really either drag out the sales cycle, how long it takes them to buy, because they might buy when they feel like it, which happens all the time, don't get me wrong. We get people leads on our list. It's like, oh, laptop lifestyle, that looks good, and then 18 months later they buy an app because they feel like it. But then there are other people out there in every single demographic, in every single target market, in every single niche, who are much more likely, if you position your marketing the right way, to take action now? And would you rather get a black sale now, or would you rather get it in 18 months? And would you rather hone in on that starving audience and get good at honing in on those? You guys, another example looking at you guys, this is why I loved what you said to me when we first were here. You were like, guys coming out of the army are like disillusioned. You know, it's like, shit, what am I going to do next? Brilliant market. Why? Because shit, what am I going to do next? You know, unless they know what they're going to do, they need to figure something out. It's a great market. If you just said, I'm targeting military, I'd be like, you know, they're kind of probably busy saving us. Mark? I'm sorry. I'm joking. I've never been. I just know people bang their heads there. Yeah. I mean, and that's another thing that you want to think about as well. Is again, with the end in mind, the one thing you've got to be cautious of is the affluent side of it. You know, if your goal is to sell a $20,000 product, then people searching franchises are automatically pretty much holding their hand up saying, I can afford a small business. I'm not saying the same with pubs, but my experience with a lot of landlords that are exiting, they literally have nothing left. They often don't even own their own homes. I could be wrong. Did you say pub landlord? And I could be completely wrong, but all I'm saying is that there are a lot of people that come forward with a lot of really good ideas for marketing, learn how to make money on the internet, and it's a huge audience. But if your goal is to sell $300 courses, you've probably got a wide open market. If your goal is to sell $20,000 coaching programs, you again want to think in even more so, how can I find the hungry audience with the money? If that makes sense. You know, so what I would say is that he might be better off, as an example, if I was coaching him, I'd probably say direct mail. Is there a way that you can access a record of all the pubs and send an offline letter? Because I think that market would be much more likely to respond to a letter than actually searching for something on the internet, maybe. But these are all things that you can obviously test out. But, you know, this is something that, you know, there's a few things, which I haven't got time to go through right now, I will do it on an Elite webinar. There's a few things that I go through in my mind every time I shoot a video, every time I write a blog post, every time I send out an email, if I'm writing an ad, sorry. Another example is if we talk about the network marketing audience, okay? There are a ton of leaders in network marketing who are making 20 grand upwards a month, who have big teams of people who have been in their companies for 7 or 8 years, who aren't looking for another opportunity. Why would they? They've got 20 grand passive income, but it's MLM. Then there are people who are completely disillusioned with the industry, who have been in it for 2 years, who are pitching their friends and family, who are being rejected by their friends and family. So what am I going to do when I write an ad? Am I going to write an ad saying MLM sucks? Or am I going to write an ad saying, you know, stop chasing friends and family? Or am I going to write an ad, great opportunity, and try and target leaders? I mean, no one's going to look at it. Whereas if I write, like the ad I actually demonstrated, I believe, on one of the Elite webinars, are you sick and tired of cold calling, chasing friends and family? You know, people are going to read that. If you're targeting network marketers, the leads are going to be like another one of those, like trying to get people off MLM. They're not going to even look at it. They might opt in because they're being nosy. But the people who are going to really respond to it is like, do you know what, I am sick and tired of phoning my mum trying to get her into my business. So you want to think about this every time that you're, you know, creating content and try and think, how can I appeal and be relatable to the people who are, you know, on an emotional level most likely to take action. Going back to another example, I know the stay-at-home mum, you shoot a video or you write a blog post talking about how horrible it is for women having to go back to work who desperately don't want to. They're going to relate to it. They're much more likely to take action being that hungry than the lady that's reading it because she's a stay-at-home mum and it's killing some time on the loo. That's when I read my emails. Just thought I'd share that. Okay. Jay's desperate.
Hold on a minute.
What we're going to do as well, just so you guys know why he's turning on his mic, is I'm going to go through an SLC demonstration next. There's nothing else.
Yeah, well, there is something else.
Here we go.
No, there's one thing that you said actually really struck home. I don't know if anyone got it. I'm sure they got it. So pain, a hungry market is pain. So if somebody's hungry for food, you use that example, and they're starving, but you have no food, you have abundance of something else, it's a mismatch, right? It needs to be what they want. And a lot of times people have like multiple needs and multiple wants. And it could be a financial thing, it could be a time thing, it could be a familial, like I don't have any time with my family, my kids. And they have these wants and needs, but they're not really conscious of they're not consciously looking for a solution. And I think that's where Facebook marketing can be really effective, where it's like almost like an interruption, and it like whets their appetite, and it reminds them, oh gosh, I am really hungry. Sometimes you're like starving and you're not thinking about it, and then somebody else says, I'm hungry, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm starving. So you can wake that up in people by being specific. And what Stu is saying is if you are just like broadcasting it, marketing with really broad general terms, you're not going to hit home to really anyone because it's too broad, it's too generic. If you narrow it down though, you can cut through to that target audience who like immediately resonates with that. So the greater their want and need, the greater the potential attraction to you if you have what they're looking for. Does that make sense? So it's brilliant stuff. I have to admit, Stu, that was brilliant. Yeah.
What you just said is so insightful as well.
Yeah.
We cuddle after every event, basically.
We're sharing a room. But no, it's so true.
Some of you have seen this video of Stuart's. Some of you who are on the Elite Challenge might have seen it, but I think I get the gist of what he's trying to teach there. He's talking about pretty much what Marie has shared with us in the Down Under group as far as the download goes, which is finding your hungry market. There's no point in trying to sell your products to people who aren't interested in them. So you need a hungry market. And I think that was the point Stuart was trying to make with some of his stories in there, that he could sell better than someone else because he knows his hungry market. And that's why Marie has uploaded into our Down Under group on Facebook the avatar sheet that you can fill out to find your target market, the people who are hungry to purchase SFM from you. And the way you can download that is when you go into the Down Under group, along the top there you'll see some group, and I think the other one says members, but at the end you'll see the word files. If you click on files, it'll be the first file on the top of the list there. You'll be able to click on that and you'll be able to download it. It's a PDF and the downloaded sheet, and you can work through that worksheet, and that will give you a better idea of whom you need to target.
Excellent. Thank you, Sandra.
That's all right, to be able to sell your product to. And Marie just wanted me to mention one other thing. She wanted to say, because she found that a lot of the times when she's talking to people about marketing and making sales, she doesn't get a lot of leads. Like, she's on the leaderboard in the back office, but she's very rarely on the leaderboard for the most leads. She's usually on the leaderboard for the most members. And she said to me, she said, I don't necessarily get a lot of leads, Sandra. It's just that I used this avatar sheet and I target whom I advertise to. So I get very few leads, but I get my offer in front of the people who are wanting my offer. And she's like, a lot of the guys don't get it. They say to me, oh, you're marketing to, stay-at-home mums, and she's like, the stay-at-home mum market is a huge market, and it really is. Stay-at-home mums is a very broad term. She's done this avatar sheet, and she's specific as to who she gets, what type of stay-at-home mums she gets this her ad in front of. It's sort of like, there are stay-at-home mums who watch Oprah and Ellen DeGeneres, and then there are stay-at-home mums who read Forbes. So they're the ones that she targets. So people who are reading, who would be more interested in business. And she used this sheet to find out who her target market was, and then she did some research to find where her target market was. Then the next thing she did was, instead of just using a generic SFM sales funnel, she had a look at a couple of the sales funnels, and she took from that what she needed, and she designed her own lead capture pages with the simple lead capture to suit her target market. So she would replace, like if she felt the need to, she would replace one of Stuart's videos with maybe a video that she's done herself, because she would, that would relate more to her customers, the customer experience. And we came up with a good analogy when I was talking to her on the phone for this, and I said to her, just last week I was on Facebook, and I had noticed that an SFM member had put an ad up on Facebook, and it had shown up in the right-hand column of my my Facebook and in my newsfeed, because I'm dealing with aloe vera products, and my products are along the health line, the health industry, health and beauty industry. So this SFM member, I'm not going to mention any names, this particular ad showed up in my newsfeed, so I thought, oh yeah, okay, all right, I'll click on this and have a look. Now the ad was really cool. It was targeting women who were, looking to be healthy and fit, and had a really cool, picture of a woman on there, and it had a nice little sales feel. Didn't say too much, but the picture was nice and soft and elegant. But it appealed to women between the ages of 30 and 50. And so I clicked on the ad, and the minute I clicked on that ad, and I said this to Marie, and she's like, I know, they do it all the time. The minute I clicked on the ad, I went straight from the ad to a generic SFM sales page with a video of Stuart and Jay. Do you get the point there? Here I am, a woman who's interested in health and fitness. I've clicked on a health and fitness ad, and boom, I've got a generic sales page with a video of Stuart and Jay.
And the next thing you do is click
how many people do you think that this person has actually got by doing that? And this was the point, Marie and I had a bit of a laugh about that, and she's like, I know, I see him do it. I clicked on this chocolate ad once, Sandra, and I didn't even know it was an SFM member's sales funnel. I clicked on this chocolate ad thinking it was chocolate, this new brand of chocolate that I could buy from home, and it went through to an SFM sales page. I was so furious, and I'm like, yeah, totally get it, Marie, I totally get it. So as you can see, congruency obviously is a factor, and appealing to your customer is also a very good factor. And knowing who your ideal customer is, and that's not saying to you, thinking in your head, saying to yourself, well, I know who will buy this and who won't buy this. You're better off locking that away, because as a salesperson, we make that mistake all the time. We prejudge and we think, oh, well, this type of person will buy the product, and we can actually end up putting our ad in front of the wrong person. So I'm very grateful to Marie for putting that that PDF download into the back office. I've already downloaded mine and started filling it out. So I'm excited about that, because I've got some marketing campaigns that are coming up in a completely different area to what I'm comfortable with, and this PDF is really going to help me a lot. So, but she's got questions on the PDF, and she's got space for you to write underneath it. And fill them out to the best of your ability, and you'll start to see your customer. And that's how you're going to get sales early on in the piece. Whether you do, expensive marketing or just cheap marketing, that's how you're going to manage to get some sales. And another old sales rule to remember that, 1 in 10 will buy. So basically you need to speak to 10 people and one person out of those 10 people will buy, which when it equates to what internet marketer people talk about with their opt-ins and their sales 3% opt-ins and stuff like that. If you break the figures down, it's pretty much the same, 1 in 10. So that's a good thing to go by, and I guess that's why Stuart's sort of trying to encourage us all to get 10 leads a day coming in, because he's working off the statistic that 1 in 10 will buy. But, like Marie said, you don't need to be getting 10 leads a day if you're getting yourself in front of the right target market, the hungry, you want your hungry customer. And like Stuart was saying, there was no point in him trying to sell a beautiful lobster dinner at 50% off to people who had already had dinner, because the chances of him selling that were going to be, very slim. Whereas he'd have more chance to sell it if he was selling it to hungry people, and he wouldn't even have to sell it at 50% off because they'd be hungry, they'd buy it. But I downloaded a PDF earlier on today. It's not so much about internet marketing in general, but it's more of a sales PDF. It's it goes through some tips on sales. So yeah, I'll get that uploaded after the call for everyone, because although it's more for a brick and mortar salesperson, there's some really good tips and advice in there on how to overcome objections, and how to perceive your customer rather than as somebody who's just a customer going to spend money with you, and it helps you design your speech, your language that you'll talk to that customer in. So quite interesting. A lot of that sort of stuff is quite interesting. I've got the PDF. It's an old PDF, and I'll, like I said, I'll upload that. But just for your thoughts here, especially online, this will give you an idea. 48% of salespeople never follow up on a prospect. 25% of salespeople make a second contact and stop. 12% of salespeople only make 3 contacts and stop. Only 10% of salespeople make more than 3 contacts. 2% of sales are made on the first contact. Now keep in mind, only 48% of salespeople, 48% of salespeople never follow up a prospect, yet 2% of sales are made on that first contact. 3% of sales are made on the second contact, and only 25% of salespeople make a second contact. 5% of sales are made on the third contact, and only 12% of salespeople actually make 3 contacts with their leads. 10% of sales are made on the fourth contact, and only 10% make more than 3 contacts. And here's one to really remember. This is staggering. 80% of online sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. So when you think about that, that is just staggering. 80% of sales are made on the 5th to the 12th contact. So what that's saying is basically, 80% of your sales will be made after you've been in front of somebody, of a lead, and you've built a relationship with them, 5 to 12 times. And thinking about my aloe vera business and the products that I sell and how I sell, that makes sense, because a lot of my sales, most of my sales are in that 80% area. So most of the people online who have purchased off me online have actually seen, have seen me have seen my posts, have conversed with me and seen my products between 5 to 12 times.
And that's why the SFM has a 7-day video boot camp. So you contact your stuff gets out there 7 times.
That's so clever.
So that's a little statistic to keep in mind. And yeah, and so with that 7-day video series that you're sending out, this is why it's important to try and build a list. But this is why it's also important to try and at least post 1 blog a day on your website, and to try and at least post 1 or 2 times a day if you're running a business page. Because 80% of your sales aren't going to be made until, you know, they feel comfortable with you, and they're somewhere in that 5th to 12th contact sales bracket. So online is obviously definitely a lot harder than offline, face-to-face, because I get a better conversion offline when I do a face-to-face, and I do a little bit of offline marketing. I will sometimes make an appointment, and I will take I have an actual flip chart that with pictures and stuff like that, and I will actually make an appointment. I will sit down with somebody and I have a physical flip chart, and I can flip through it and go through it face to face. I find it a lot easier and a lot quicker to make sales than what I do online. It is definitely a lot harder. You don't just make a sale straight away online, but a lot of you guys, you know, you're going to need to be making sales, and some of you are going to need to be making sales soon. Because that was the whole point of learning to build your own business, is to make sales. To replace an income or bring in a second income, replace your husband's income. All of you have different whys. But at the end of the day, you need to make sales. You need to sell memberships, because that's what you're doing. You're selling memberships. You're selling an educational product. So you're selling memberships. So even if you don't have a lot of money for marketing, the reason why Marie's uploaded that avatar sheet is to help you target, zoom into your target market, so you don't have to spend a lot of money advertising. I'll share these sales statistics for you, so you can pop those away somewhere and keep an eye on them, so you know what you're looking at, and and whether you do it a combination of a little bit of free marketing, because even with your free marketing now, you can do a bit of target marketing. I've joined some groups on Facebook, and some of them are closed groups, some of them are secret groups, some of them are open groups. And I joined those groups because in those groups, and I've made sure that they're engaging groups, not just spam groups where everybody's just posting links, but people that are actually talking to each other, that have a problem that I know one of my products can help either solve or assist with. And I've joined those groups. So when I share something on my One Stop Aloe Shop fan page on Facebook, what I do is, whether I'm running advertising or not, what I do is then I change to Sandra Lemming, and I go to One Stop Aloe Shop, and I share that post from One Stop Aloe Shop into the group as myself, as Sandra Lemming, but I'm sharing One Stop Aloe Shop's post. And you would be surprised at how many extra page likes I get out of that. I get questions on my fan page. People come to my fan page and write private messages to me and ask me, and I've actually made some sales by doing that. And I do that regularly in a week. It'll be with the one post. I construct a really good post I can use for marketing if I want to, and that post, I will share it daily in that group, that same post, because 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. And I also know that 1 in 10 will buy, so I have to get my post in front of a minimum of 10 people. And at the time that I share it the first time, not everyone will see it because by the time some other people come into the group later on, it may be way down the bottom of the page. So I will pick that post and I will share that post every day for the whole week in that group. I do the same with my blog posts when I share them for free. Like one blog post, I will take one blog post and I will share that same blog post for the rest of the week. I'll share it in groups, I'll share it in communities, I'll share it in forums that I'm involved in, and I'll share that same blog post regularly, every day, for a week. I know it sounds like it's repetitive and frustrating, but when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense because not everybody is on Facebook at the same time as you are. Not everybody's in a group at the same time as you are. Not everybody's talking on the forum at the same time as you are because there's so many different time zones around the country and around the world. And I mean, now we've moved into daylight saving, you know, my New South Wales counterparts are on a completely different time zone to me. You know, they're like an hour ahead of me. And I'm scratching my head thinking, you know, well, they're nuts down there because it's not 8 o'clock, it's 7 o'clock. So yeah, and don't be afraid to share some of your earlier blogs. I mean, if you started out and you weren't quite sure how to share your earlier blogs and you're not sure whether they even got shared, don't be afraid to, you know, one week, you know, share your new blog and then pick one of your earlier blogs and share that as well. Stuart recycles over the Christmas holidays. You keep an eye on Stuart's marketing on Facebook and the way he shares blogs. Jay does it too. I've seen Jay share a blog that's 2 years old. I saw him do it over Christmas that just passed because he's seen a lot of people asking a question about online marketing and building an online business, and he had written that blog post for that specific question, you know, 2 years prior. So he went and found that blog post and he just shared that blog post rather than writing a whole new blog post. So don't be afraid in your travels, you know, to do that for yourself whilst you're working out your avatar, your customer, and who you need to get your ads in front of. Don't be afraid to do that, especially on Facebook. I mean, if you see a post on Facebook and people are commenting on that post, and you see somebody happen to raise an issue where you know you've answered that question in a blog post that you wrote 2 weeks ago, hell, go to that blog post, copy the link to that blog post, and just put up, you know, in the comment thread, just put, hey, you know, whatever, you know, at, you know, Mary Suckelberg, I did a blog post about that very question, you know, just a few weeks ago. Here's the link if you'd like to read it. That is not spam. That is not spamming. That is seeing somebody has a question that they need an answer to, and you're answering it in a comment thread. So does that make sense to everyone?
Very good.
So that's how you're going to get some sales happening. And don't be afraid, you know, don't be afraid to say, well, I need to make some sales. Well, of course you need to make some sales. You know, that's why you took on the, you know, this opportunity. That's why you joined the SFM, because you wanted to learn how to make money. So yes, it's not always all about the money. You know, there's a lot of mindset training and stuff as well. But don't be afraid to say, well, I need to make some money as well, because you do.
Yeah.
You know, everybody needs to make some money. That's why they get involved in these opportunities. I mean, you don't go to university and pay, you know, $40,000 to dedicate 3 years of your life if you're not going to be making money. You do that because you think at the end of that you're going to have a job that's going to pay you the yearly income that you want. I mean, sometimes, you know, a lot of them are sadly disappointed and they don't get the jobs in that area, but that's why you do it. That's why you pay that money, and that's why anyone pays the money to learn anything. It's to make money. So yes, don't be afraid to occasionally go, you know, well shit, I need to make some money. How do I do that? And because it's that's important as well, especially for a lot of you guys who you know, are married or in a relationship with somebody else. You know, there's pressure on you there because they may not be supportive of the decision that you've made, and they could be within the first week, at the end of the first week, they're probably doing the same thing to you that my family did to me when I told them that I was going to start my aloe vera business. At the end of the week, I had my family ringing me up going, "So, you making any money yet?" I had friends 3 weeks later who ring me, "Oh, you must be rolling in the dough now." And I just wanted to reach through the phone and slap them across the back of the head.
Or even the front of it.
Or even in the front of it. I mean, it's like, give me a break. I mean, screw you. I seen a really good quote there the other day, and I can't remember the exact words, but it said, it's amazing how, it goes something like this, it's amazing how people think 2 to 5 years is a long time in business, but 40 years in a job isn't. And I thought about that, and I thought, well, in 40 years' time, if I keep going the way I'm going with my business, in 40 years' time, I will have more fucking money. I will have so much money that, I'll need 3 houses to store it in.
And you'll be able to afford them.
And I will be able to afford them, yes. But if I was working in a job for 40 years, I won't have that much money. I can guarantee you that. But if I stick at this aloe business, the way I'm going online, in 40 years' time, I will. I'll have so much money that I won't be able to fit it in 3 houses. I'll probably need to go and buy a couple of yachts as well.
Why not?
And you'll be a much happier person than somebody who's been working in a job for 40 years as well, I'm sure.
Well, in 40 years' time, I will be the richest 90-year-old lady on the planet.
How in 40 years' time I'll be over 100.
Well, you'll be the richest over 100-year-old person on the planet. Yeah.
I'll have a real motor.
But I mean, isn't it crazy? But isn't it crazy? Somebody can be working in a job for 20 years, and if you looked at them and said, "So, are you rolling in the dough yet?" You'd cop a mouthful from them. They'd tear you a new asshole, as if to say, "What are you, stupid? I only make $60,000 a year. Of course I'm not rolling it, but at least I've got a job." Yet, you start up a business and you haven't even got through your first year yet, and they go, "So, you making any money yet?" And it's like, oh, just come a bit closer. Just come a bit closer. Are you stupid? But I found an easy way to alleviate that to me. When friends ring me and say to me, "Oh, so you'd be rich enough now to buy me a yacht." I turn around and go, "Well, actually, yes, I am, and buy you a yacht I will not, because I never received any support from you when I first started my business. You laughed at me, told me it was a scam, and told me I'd be broke and out of business in 6 months and getting a job. Well, I don't have another job. I'm not broke. I'm not out of business, and no, you can't have your yacht."
And that's putting it politely.
And that's putting it politely. And when they ring me and they whinge about their job, they're being, they've lost some hours, or, they're being downgraded, or the boss is giving them a hard time, I say to them, "Really? Really? I don't want to hear it." And if they go, "Oh, why not?" I go, "I really don't want to hear it. I'm not interested. I need a two-way street, not a one-way street." And when I first started my business, all you gave me was a one-way street. I didn't see a two-way street. So this is no two-way street. So, hey, tough, quit your job, start a business. I can show you the perfect business to jump into. I'll even be your mentor. And you'll be the happiest person alive. And you won't have to deal with a boss putting on a younger person and promoting them to manager and leaving you to sweep floors. They'll soon, they soon get the message. It soon sinks in. Of course, I wouldn't suggest that you do that to a husband or a wife.
Why not?
It could start World War III. Unless you're looking to end the relationship,
But at least when you become a millionaire, you want to share.
That's exactly right. Make sure with this business, make sure you've got an account set up in your own name and all the money goes into that account. Because I guarantee you, people will come sniffing around. But you really need to have a serious do or die when it comes to selling anything, and I mean anything. You've got to have just a serious reason to sell as what you do to get out of the rat race and start a business. So you've got to have a big why, and generally your why you've joined the SFM and you're doing this is generally a big enough why to motivate you to do the little bit of research and get some sales happening. And that's why Robbie and I wanted to talk about marketing this week, was to just give you some ideas, make it clear to you that if you don't have a lot of money to market, it's going to take a little bit of extra hard work and a little bit longer. But Marie so graciously shared that avatar sheet with us, so that will really, really help as well. And don't be afraid to share. Like I said, if you're on Facebook and you're on a fan page that you like, I don't care if it's a Loom Band fan page, and you like your page and you're on there and you're not even actually working with the SFM. I make my business my life, so opportunities arise for me all the time. I mean, if I'm out and about, I carry aloe gel samples in my handbag, and if I'm out and about, there have been heaps of times I've ripped out an aloe gel sample and gone, it's cool, aloe to the rescue, and I've ripped it open and I've used it. I've had people, I've been sitting there ordering coffee in a coffee shop and seeing somebody burn themselves on the spout of the coffee machine, and they're like, hand on the thing, and they're looking for the medicine kit, which is half empty because the manager hasn't bothered to stock it up again, and he's blaming some, floor runt so he doesn't get into trouble off his boss. And I'll run over and go, it's okay, aloe to the rescue. I go, here you go, I've got some aloe gel here, put that on it once you've cleaned it. I never miss an opportunity. I live, sleep, eat, breathe my business. It is a part of me. It has become such a part of me that even my grandkids now sell it at school to the teachers. How cool is that?
That's cool.
And I didn't even teach them to do that. At different times through the year, they'll do up a little package for a teacher at school who's leaving or whatever, and they'll come to me and ask me for some aloe samples. So never miss an opportunity. And your membership, your SFM membership is the same. The SFM is a community. It's a membership site, and it can solve problems. If you don't know what problems it can solve out there, take a minute some days. Just step back from the computer and don't try so hard. Don't focus and narrow in so hard on what you're doing, and just take a step back and go for a walk around the yard and think. Think about problems that people have, lack of money, no retirement, wanting a new car, wanting to go on a holiday. Think of things that people need solutions for. And then think about the SFM and think if the, being a member of the SFM and learning how to earn an income online can actually solve those problems for people. And there you go. There you have the link. You have the connection. You start to become your business. You start to become, it becomes so natural to you that people don't even notice. And you use it as a solution to a problem. So you may be out at a party one night, and some guy, some friend of a friend may be talking about being laid off, because the company's closing or whatever, and talking and stuff. You may turn around and think, well, man, how SFM has actually helped this guy out. He sounds like he's really switched on, and you'll just automatically, without even realising what you're doing, you'll just automatically start having that conversation with him. And if you have business cards on you with a link to your website, you can hand him a business card. Now, he may or may not sign up, but that's an extra lead. It may not be a lead in your autoresponder, but it's a lead. And generally, a face-to-face lead is a warmer lead than a lead that you have never had a conversation with. Because they list leads as cold, warm, and converted. Obviously, converted leads are people who have opted into your offer or bought your product or whatever, and warm leads are people who are, generally people that you've had a conversation with. Cold leads are people that you've just advertised to and you haven't had a conversation with, you haven't made contact. So, so don't sell yourselves short. You all have skills. Even if you have been stay-at-home mums the whole time, trust me, you have skills. When you have to orchestrate getting a husband to work, getting children ready for school, you've had to step in as a referee and separate them from fighting, you've got to get them to school, you've had to converse with other mothers at school, then you've had to converse with teachers. You have skills. You have more skills than what you realise. You just need to learn how to take those skills and utilise them in getting your offer, your membership offer, in front of people who want it. And then you can make some sales and start to have the money in your bank and run around and show it to everybody and go, I feel good. That's what I do. Doesn't everyone do that?
No, I'm looking forward to the day.
Yeah, awesome.
But that's what you just need to do. And don't say to yourselves, oh, I need to do some more training. I need to do some more training. You really don't. SFM does the training for you. You just need to sell the memberships. You've done your training. You're going through your modules. You've got the Down Under group. You've got the whole community. Really, what you really need, what will make you really happy, what will take the pressure off, what will relieve the overwhelm, is to start to make some membership sales. That's what's going to be the most important thing at the end of the day. Even if it's only, one membership sale a month at the moment, at least that's an extra, couple $100, and you never know, that member may upgrade to Elite. So, there's $1,000, they may upgrade again into the system. There's a bit more commission. So, but even an extra $200 a month, I'm sure, because I know when I first started working online, I would have loved an extra $50 a month. I could visualize exactly what I could do with an extra $50 a month. It would have meant so much to me, and that's what I worked for. That was my first goal, to get $50 a month. And I did that. And then, my next goal was to increase that $50 a month to $100 a month. I worked in small increments. And I actually visualized what I could do with each increment. I visualized what I could do with $50. And, being a stay-at-home mum, you sure as hell know what you can do with an extra $50 a month. It's not that hard to visualize. But, I used to sit there and I think, oh, wow, that's just $50 a month. I can actually go to a decent lingerie shop and get a freaking decent bra for a change. Oh, 2 bras. I can get 2 bras.
Not my size, darling, not my size, I can't. Oh, could have got them all the way from UK for a decent price.
But, you know, even if it's knickers, you know, oh, I can throw all those holy knickers in the bin now. I'll buy some new knickers. Whoa.
Hey, that $50 got me a haircut just the other day.
There you go. See, $50 haircut, and don't you feel good?
I feel freaking fabulous. I even put lipstick on. My daughter says to me, Mum, why are you putting lipstick on? I said, because I feel like it. I feel good. Now,
You feel
I'm
good.
proud of myself after what I've just done these last, 9 days.
Yeah.
I just
Well,
can't
you know,
believe.
you can visualize what you can do with an extra $50 a month, and you all know that just one basic membership will get you $200 for the month. So even if you just focus on trying to at least sell one basic membership, that's an extra $200 for the month. And then you're going to get the residual income of $20 a month from the $97 that they're going to be paying anyway. And then if they upgrade, you're going to get money off of that. And if they go into AWeber, you're going to get a bit of commission off of that as well, because they're going through the SFM system. That's why the SFM handles all of that.
That's a great system, isn't it?
So, you know, yeah, so, you know, try not to think of the big sales. I mean, it would be good to think of, you know, the big sales and get a big sale, but when you haven't made a sale, you know, when you haven't got one member, I think the best place to start is at the beginning. And the beginning is a basic member, okay? Well, $200 a month. What could I do with $200 a month? Visualize it. I don't care if you cut a picture out of a magazine or something that you could spend the $200 a month on. I don't care if you photocopy a bill and put it on the wall that you could pay with $200 a month. I don't care. Doesn't worry me. But think about, visualize what you can do with that extra $200 a month, and start there. Start at the beginning. And obviously online, you know, the way to do that is to try and get leads into the system, and Stuart has a lot of information in the back office on exactly how you do that. And don't worry if you only have 3 leads. I designed an aloe vera newsletter when I only had 1 lead. And for a while there, I was sending out a newsletter once a month to 1 lead.
Yeah, but they didn't know they were the only one, did they? So
No, they didn't know they were the only lead.
yeah.
And it gave me practice. And funny enough, after that one lead, I sent out 3 newsletters. After the 3rd newsletter, that 1 lead actually bought a product from me. I mean, it wasn't the most expensive product that I had, you know, but you know, she bought a product. You know, and she didn't know she was the only lead. So, you know, even if you've only got 1 lead, start practicing your broadcasting to them, you know, and because that's how you build a relationship. And it doesn't have to be all about business, your broadcast. You know, think of some of the videos that you've done. Go through some of the videos that you've done. Pick the better ones. Get that video, put it together as a, you know, in a broadcast with a little bit of writing saying, hi, how you going? You know, just wanted to reach out and introduce myself and let you see a face, you know, put a face to the name. And if you have any questions about the video series, you know, feel free to reach out and let me know. I'll be happy to discuss it with you. Talk to, in your own words. Put it in your own words. Send that out as a broadcast. Even if you send that out as a broadcast in the first, you know, in the first 7 days, midway, to somebody who signed up to your list, at least they can put a face to the name then. And I mean, it's always much nicer when you have a face to a name, isn't it? I know I like to have a face to a name.
Can you, with the broadcast, Sandra, because I still haven't done one, I don't even have a list, but I'll send it to my family members just to practice.
Yeah.
Can you do, say, like a wrap-up of the latest blogs that you've just done, or?
Yep. That's all my newsletter is, my LA newsletter is most of the time, because I send it out once a month. It's generally just a short wrap-up, like, short phrase with a picture from each blog with the top blog title.
Okay, well that kind of, yeah, because now obviously with the challenge of doing a blog a day, so, every 4 days, like they said to do at least 4 broadcasts a week to your list. I said, well, I don't have a list, but hell, I'll send it to my family members. They'll be nice and surprised, but at least that way they'll look at what I'm doing.
Yeah, and don't worry about sending it to you. Send it to your family members. And I mean, if any of them say anything to you, just turn around and go, well, I'm building a business. I've got to practice on someone.
Oh, these people I've already asked them. I said, do you mind? And they said no. And these are the people I trust with all my heart. So,
Cool.
There's certain family members, God, I wouldn't go near them with this because they'd fuck it up. Sorry. Sorry. They are so dishonest. It's my husband's side. They're so freaking dishonest. There's no way I would introduce them to this. There's no way.
Well, you never know. They may be brilliant at it.
I'm sure he is.
We should
I'm
never
sure he is.
prejudge.
He's a salesman. He's a salesman as he is. I'm sorry, he's an arsehole. The one in particular I'm thinking about, he's a real arsehole.
Yeah, but we shouldn't prejudge. You never know. Maybe you should send out a broadcast to him. He may do really well at it. And
Sandra, he sends his daughters to the same swim school to me as my daughter because I introduced them to it, and they said to me, Yvonne, is that your brother or brother-in-law? I said, oh, he's my brother-in-law, but he's my husband's brother. She goes, don't like him. I said, don't worry, not many people do.
Well, you said he was a salesman, didn't you?
He is a salesman, yes. He sells gas.
He sells gas. And did you know that...
I profoundly apologise for this comment that I'm about to make, but he actually did sell gas to the Jews.
Oh. Yeah, but did you know that's what a salesperson does?
Yeah.
A salesperson is expected to sell. And when you're in a job, when you're hired as a salesperson, and most of the time, you'll only get a very minimal base wage each week. The money is made in the commissions and bonuses.
Yep.
So, you will strive to sell as much as you can. And around the world, this is a pretty global fact, 85% of salespeople have a bad rap.
Yeah, I know.
People think sadly of,
Oh, Sandra, trust me. No, he's not a very pleasant person to speak to. But anyway, enough about him. I don't bother about him anymore. Sorry?
Yeah, a lot of salespeople can be hard to talk to and can be quite unpleasant. And I think that's due to the KPIs and the stress that they're under in their own jobs and the pressure that they're put under. It just tends to make them not a nice person. Because I know when I was selling advertising, I wasn't a nice person. Not too many people in my family liked me. I can't say I blame them. I think at the end of the day, I was even trying to sell them some advertising on our calendars and brochures and stuff like that. It's good to have a laugh. So, keep your marketing basic. Fill out your avatar that Marie's been so generous to take her time and do up for us. Think about ways you can get your offer in front of the right people. And think of it from a membership. If you're finding it hard to sell it as a business opportunity, which you will find on Facebook, it is really hard to sell any business opportunity on Facebook. Unless you're like, Richard Branson and you can throw $1,000 a day at them, then they won't give a rat's ass what you put in your ad. But I don't know about anybody else, but I don't have $1,000 a day. It's just on an ad on Facebook. But, you know, it's really much more than a business opportunity, really, the six-figure mentors. It really is a membership into, you know, into a change of life. Because you learn so much and you learn ways to do so much. And I mean, I'm not even selling the membership. I'm, you know, building my own business. And like I said, you know, if I keep going the way I'm going with my aloe business, you know, in 40 years' time, I'll be the richest 90-year-old lady on the planet.
I'll be the richest 80-year-old in the planet.
There you go.
There you go.
It'll only be a 10 years difference. You know, we can hire out a cruise ship all to ourselves.
Oh, shit, yeah. Then we'll do the shit.
Leave everybody else behind on the dock. You know, all the naysayers, all the disbelievers, we can leave them all stand there on the dock and go, nah, it's our cruise ship. We got control of this. See you later, suckers. Have fun.
Yeah.
Back in about 14 days.
But look, I mean, like, that's the problem. The MLM industry has given this type of industry such a bad name. I mean, I even tried to bring it to one of my friends and explain. She goes, well, if I sign up, how much do you get out of it? I said, have you listened to what I had to say before? I mean,
a better way to handle that objection would have been to look at her and say to her, like, where does she work?
She doesn't. She's a single mum.
She doesn't? She's a single mum? The better way to handle that objection would have been to look at her and go, well, the next time you go into Woolworths and fill your trolley up and pay for your groceries, I want you to look at the girl and go, how much do you get out of this? How much do you get paid for this?
$7 an hour.
Because, I mean, hello, what do you think? Exactly. What do you think your groceries are covering? Somebody's got to pay for that girl standing behind the checkout. And that hourly rate, that's coming from the sale of those groceries. It's not coming from the advertising on telly. It's coming from the sale of those groceries. That is why a lot of supermarkets now are installing the self-serve checkout so they can sack the checkout chicks to make even a higher profit margin. Yeah, and I refuse to use the self-service checkout. I've been in there heaps of times and they come up to me and go, you know, would you like to come over and self-serve? And I look at her and I go, how much do I get out of it? And she said to me, she said, excuse me? I said, well, I've walked around your shop, I found what I wanted, I've done that all on my own, and I haven't been paid for it, and now you want me to go over there and serve myself. I want to know what I get for that. Do I get a 25% discount on the product, 50% discount, or do I get $16.95 an hour, which is the minimum going rate here in Australia? Oh, no, you don't get paid. You don't get paid for doing it. I'm like, well, okay, that's fine. I'll just stand here and wait for the girl at the checkout to serve me then, shall I? So she can actually get paid for what she's doing. Work them out. I don't work for free. Are you working for free? And generally they just turn on their heels and walk away. Because I won't put somebody out of a job.
Yeah.
And I don't work for free. I'm sorry. If you won't work for free, don't expect me to work for free. So Woolworths and Coles, with your self-service checkouts, if you ever come across this video and you're listening to me, I do not work for free. I generally charge $200 an hour. So if you want me to serve myself in your self-service checkout, you better get your pennies out because I need $200 an hour. That's my fee. That's what you're paying me to serve myself. End of story.
Always a pleasure, Sandra. I love listening to you. I love it. I love it. It pumps me up every week listening to these Thursday night calls. It's brilliant.
Cool, cool. But yeah, there's a little objection that you had, and objections can be hard to overcome. So, you know, when you're just sitting there doodling or taking a break, you know, I always have a book around, it's handy, a piece of paper, it doesn't matter. And, you know, if you think of an objection that somebody can come up with, write it down and have a look at the different scenarios you can come up with overcoming that objection. Because an objection from a person is not really them saying no, it's just them saying, I don't understand.
Yeah.
How does this benefit me? That's really all they're saying to you. It's like, I don't understand. How does this help me? I know I'm going to be helping you, but how does this help me? But if no one else has got anything else to add, I think the New Zealand people would probably really love to go to bed right now.
Is there someone snoring in the background?
No, not snoring yet.
Sleep, Robbie.
No. I'm
Okay.
I'm reading blog posts and commenting them on and listening to you as well.
Yeah, well, you just as hard as what I do, just quietly.
I've been preparing my post for tomorrow.
I thought you were going to put your keyboard through the top of the desk.
Yeah, put a comment on your post, Yvonne.
Thank you.
You're
Always
welcome.
appreciated. I can always count on you, Robbie.
Again,
And
you're
that's
just
another
above
thing we
me.
can do to help each other out. It's exactly what Robbie does for us all. He comments.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been trying to do that myself.
But, you know, don't overextend yourself. You know,
No.
you may not be able to get around everyone.
No, Stu said only choose 5. He said just choose the top 5 above the post that you put in, and that's what I do.
Yeah.
But at least I make the effort.
But the other thing is that it just doesn't help them, it actually helps yourself as well.
It
Yeah.
does. Especially when you set up your own Discuss profile and all of that sort of stuff, because a lot of the blogs that you come across, I often go to Stuart Ross's website when he puts something new up, and I'll often comment because I have several Discuss profiles, and I'll often more than likely
That's just
comment.
disgusting.
It's just like all your different personalities there, Sandra. All right.
Yep, all my different personalities. So I'll generally choose my One Stop Aloe Shop Discuss profile, and I'll comment on his website. Just so I'm saying to him, "Whoa, I'm still here, One Stop Aloe Shop. You're in the house, come visit."
And do you get a comment?
Very rarely does he comment back to me. But he's coming around, slowly but surely. He's coming around. I'm getting there.
Make sure you bring a nice big gift pack for him at Momentum Day.
I've got my samples ready to bring down for him, don't you worry. I've got my brochures printed out. And my retail price list, I've got that printed out already.
You're a comic fan.
I'm serious. I actually have a Stuart Ross pack. I've got a new pack.
I'm laughing because I believe you. I would be very surprised if you said you didn't.
Oh no, I got it there.
Yep. I believe you.
Ross pack. I rock into Momentum Day and go, "G'day, Stuart. I love the way that you're so into your health, and I bought this special gift down for you from a business. Here you go." Have no fear. So shall we let you get to bed, Robbie?
Oh, you could do. Actually, I'll stop this recording now. Good